Hey guys, this is KotPeepers, just wanting to kind of go over the pet builds for witch doctors and let everybody kind of see the gear that's used to get on the leaderboards. These are very fun builds. I like them anyway, personally. They output great for doing rifts that are, you can do level 37 rifts. That's actually about what you need to get on the leaderboard. That's what got me on there right now. So let's check out the gear. So a couple of must-haves here that make or break this build. The main one that you'll see every witch doctor have is the elusive SMK, the Star Metal Kukri. It's going to allow you to drop your big bad voodoo pretty much as you want. The next one is your Tasker and Theo. It helps your little guys with their attack speed, and again is a must-have. The third one, of course, is the Mask of Jerem. Pet damage helps out tremendously. You want to definitely try and roll it with crit chance on it, and want to try to get obviously 100% for the pet damage. And personally, I put an amethyst in there because you'll want the extra health on higher rifts. Good point on the Taskers too is the secondary there for fire res can roll the chance to stun. So if you can get that, that'd be what you want on there. Those are the three, have to do this build. By the end of it, at least, to get on the leaderboards. Like I said, I got on there at Greater Rift 37 in about 12 minutes. And other than that, a lot of this stuff can be crafted. So as you can see, you have canes for the 2 set to get the increased attack speed. Both of these I kept rolling them until you get ancient. You got to get the 500 to 650 on those stats for the new ancient stuff. Augilds have to have it for that 3 set for the increased elite damage. On the bracers specifically, you're going to want to get your elemental damage, so the fizz damage, and crit chance. That's the big thing with those. And then your shoulders, Augilds as well, for the 3 set. And on there, that's one of the pieces that you can get your fetish army damage. So try to roll max on that. Your chest, I prefer towels for the increased attack speed. A lot of people will go with Borns, but it is another one of those that you get your fetish army damage on. So again, try to get max on that. The third one and final one that you can get fetish army damage on is your offhand. And the serpent is definitely one that you'll want. There are alternatives, of course, so it's not a must-have, but it's one that I prefer for the damage decrease, so your dogs take some of your damage. But again, you'll want to roll the max on your fetish army damage on that as well. That's where your little guys between the elemental, the skill damage, and the elite damage, that's where all your guys are going to get their damage from. As far as other pieces, so belt is a big one. Hellcats is an alternative. You'll really want to wear Witching Hour if you can find one. I haven't found one yet. Harrington's is really good too for the greater rifts, but I prefer Hellcats with the attack speed. The faster you can get these guys to output their little butcher knives for damage, the better off you're going to be. And rings, Ring of Royal Grandeur, of course. And for gems, the Pain Enhancer is one of them. It's going to be great for your attack speed. The fetishes do actually proc it once per fetish, so it'll proc 8 times, and that's just off of them. And will increase your attack speed, so in turn increasing your fetish's attack speed. And Stone of Jordan, if you don't have that, a ring with crit chance, crit damage, int, and a socket, have to have a socket. And on here, you want to go with fizz damage when you get your SOJ, obviously try for max elite damage into a socket. Your third gem is, or your second gem is going to be the Enforcer, obviously the pet gem. So the third one is going to be the Gematoxin, and that will get procced by your Plague of Toads with the Rain of Toads, and will increase, obviously, the damage everything takes. Now on the amulet, again, you just want to get crit damage, crit chance, int, and a socket. It'd be great if you can get it on an elemental amulet like Mara's. But again, if you find it, great. If not, Hellfire amulets are awesome. Rondels or Boris rolls really well. But again, those stats. So as far as paragon points, you want to put. I dumped more into Vite than I did int, just because I'll show you what my res is at here in a little bit. But for the higher rifts, you really need a lot of life. You need a lot more life than you would think. And movement speed. You know, just get to 13%. You get 12 from your boots. That's all you need. Just max 25% for movement speed. And offense. First one you're going to max is your attack speed, followed by, in my case, it was crit damage. You'll just have to look and see what you're lacking. You want about a 1 to 10 ratio on your crit chance versus crit damage on your stats, and I'll show you that here in a minute too. But you can alternate these. You know, you can max out crit chance if you need more. You can max out crit damage if you need more. I needed crit damage, so it's maxed out first. Defense, again, life is going to be a big one. Armor is the next one. You don't really need to worry about maxing out your res right away because you're an int-based character. Armor is going to be big. It makes your, those points of life count towards more, or each one counts a little more. So utilities, area damage first, or life on hit, and then gold fine. Resource cost reduction is not important in this build at all. Don't even worry about it. And let's see, so the stats, like I was talking about, you can kind of see my res is about 1300 to 1500, so that's why we do res last. Didn't really need the points in it. Elite damage, again, 45%, physical damage 35%, and fetish army damage 45%, so they are maxed out. And you can see, like I said, on the crit and crit damage, so you want to do a 1 to 10 ratio. I'm at 47%. I, in theory, want to be at about 470 for crit damage, but it's okay if they're not exact. It's just what people say you get the best DPS out of, is having that 1 to 10 ratio. The rest of the stats, you can kind of see you want your life on hit to be up there. You'll get it from your dogs, from your Plague of Toads, so just keep that in mind. But you want to get around 1.5 for your damage and around 14 mil toughness. Alright, so let's look at the skills and actually see. And I'll show you, I'm only at about 7k life, 7.5k life, so or 700k, excuse me, and that's about, you'll want about 650 or 700. For the skills, piranhas are going to be your main one. A lot of people like to go with the Pronado for the rune, but I actually prefer frozen piranhas. Number one, good point that the cold or freezing does actually affect goblins, so when you get and find a big pack of goblins when you're running around, this is great for slowing them down, let your fetishes get at them for a little bit. It is one of the few things that does work on them. Plague of Toads, again, is going to be used for proccing your toxic gem. It is going to definitely help out with your life on hit. And it's about a 50% proc rate for the Rain of Toads rune. So anything you can proc, this is going to do it. Big Bad Voodoo and Fetish Army, those are going to be your big two DPS skills, well, together effectively. With the SMK, these guys will come off cooldown all the time. But for Big Bad Voodoo, you want to do Slam Dance, get you your DPS, and Fetish Army, you want to do Legion of Daggers. So you can get 8 little guys instead of the normal 5. Spirit Walk, Jaunt for the rune, gives you 3 seconds, plenty of time to get out of the sticky situations with the checkered poison, plague, molten, etc. Zombie Dogs, especially for your offhand, the Serpent, they'll also help with your life on hit. And pretty good blockers too. So, passives, you want your Fetish Sycophants, obviously. It's part of the build. They do count as a fetish, so they will take a second off of Big Bad Voodoo and Fetish Army when they hit. They do proc your SMK. Midnight Feast is the one that I picked as an alternative based on your playstyle. You can pick Zombie Handler if you decide you need more health. Grave Injustice is another one of my favorites. You are going to be melting stuff, so you can be pretty close because you have plenty of Sycophants and fetishes and dogs to block for you, so you can get the effect of Grave Injustice pretty effectively. Jungle Fortitude is a must. You need to have it so you take less damage, your dogs take less damage. It also helps the Serpent offhand to make you take even less damage because it gets redirected to your dogs. And Pierce the Veil, it's where you get a lot of your damage, so have to have that. Alright, let's go check this build out. Like I said, this only got me to about 650 on the leaderboards. So, pop your fetishes, drop your Big Bad Voodoo, watch these guys come off the cooldown. I mean, I'll drop piranhas on some of these, but once you go to the next group, they should be off cooldown, bam. There we are, I got both of them. You can see 2 of them up right now. That guy melted. Toast. Those fetishes just take care of them. Max for your Sycophants that you'll actually have out is going to be 15. You'll get 80 of your little guys that stay out for 20 seconds. Again, they're off cooldown already, so you're fine. Big Bad Voodoo is going to be back up here in a minute. Yep, there it is. You'll see the numbers. You get about 25. When Big Bad Voodoo is down, you'll get 50 mil crits, and that's out of 8 of them. So each of your fetishes are doing, you know, roughly 7.2 millisecond because they got 2 times attack, so they attack twice a second. Alright, so that's kind of how the build works. As you can see, it does quite a bit of damage. It is just T6. I'm not going into a rift right now. As the alternative, if you don't have, you know, SMK yet, you don't have the Stone of Jordan, and you'd like to play a pet build, you know, your alternative, and this is what I used for a long time, is Chest, Boots, and Ring of Zunis. For your weapon, Doombringer. Again, it's going to get your Fizz. This one rolled really well, actually, with percent damage and attack speed, but this will let your fetishes stay out until they die. You obviously won't get as much damage. You'll, of course that's missing the emerald, but it'll be at like 1.3 instead of 1.5. And it'll let you do greater rifts up to about 33. But for anything past that, to get to like the 37s, 38s like I'm doing now, have to have the SMK. It's the only way to go. I think that's pretty much it for the build. If you guys got any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll actually be posting up another build for tanking. Great CC build using Borns and a couple other. The Tiki Mask to do 40 plus rifts in a group. But I'll post that up a little later. Alright guys, you have a good time.